Hi, I'm Chong, but people on the internet call me Chingu. I guess I really didn't need to tell you that because, I'm not famous or anything yet. During this semester, we were required to do our service hours outside of class. I decided on doing my service hours at the nonprofit Artists Working in Education, or A.W.E for short. A.W.E has multiple programs, but the one I attended was the Truck Studio. The Truck Studio is this awesome program where artists and members of A.W.E go around different sites to read and make artwork with the children. During the summer, the sites are held at parks around the Milwaukee area. But during the fall and winter time, ugh, the fall and winter time. The sites are held at libraries rather than parks around the Milwaukee area because no one wants to freeze outside while making art. As an introverted potato, I found myself not really wanting to go volunteer on the first day because that meant I had to meet new people. Regardless, I went to my first site, and that site was the Tippecanoe Library. I went to the site thinking to myself, oh my gosh, what if they're scary? What if they're cranky people? What if they don't like me? What if, what if, what if they're not potatoes? But, to my surprise, the members were very young, and upon further getting to know the members individually and with further investigations, I found that they themselves were potatoes. No, no, no. They weren't potatoes. They were super potatoes! The first day was a great success and very enjoyable. Since then, every day that I was able to attend became something I enjoyed and looked forward to. I volunteered on the weekends because those were the only times that really worked for A.W.E and myself. And so, it was always a good way to end my week. There really was only one day that was not as enjoyable as I remember. It was on a Saturday. Everything was going extremely well, actually, until halfway through the program. There was a child that just would not listen to what we were instructing them and telling them to do, or rather, what not to do. The thing was, at first, this child was actually very well mannered, and we got to know him really well. But then everything started changing when he started doing crazy stunts, like going on his chair and spinning as fast as he can, or rolling across the room on chairs with wheels. And as time went by, it just got worse and worse. The child eventually started punching the intern, and none of us really knew what to do. Because for me personally, when my nieces or nephews start acting up, I usually play wrestle with them and suplex them onto the sofa. No, I'm just kidding. I don't suplex them. But regardless, I'm able to raise my voice a little bit and get them to stop if what they're doing is naughty. But in this case, I was not related to the child in any sort of way, so I really did not know what I could and could not do to get the child to stop. So eventually, his mother came in, and man, she had the face of wrath. We were all scared for the child, but the mother just lectured and yelled at him a bit and then just took him away. The lead artist and intern were drained after that. You could see it in their faces, and so was I. That day, I came home, fell into my bed, and my soul left my body. But luckily, I dragged my soul back into my body, and then I went downstairs to get food to rejuvenate myself. Since that incident, no other day has been like it, and I found myself enjoying life more in general. And while not so fond of the idea at first, I began finding enjoyment in these service hours. While conducting my service hours at A.W.E, I noticed how short-staffed they were. It was a bit saddening for me, seeing as I was one of the only volunteers there. I wasn't really sad for myself that I would have more work, but I was more so sad that no one was really helping this organization that's doing such great work for the community. There were days where just having one more volunteer or member would have been very helpful, and these days were plentiful. I really believe the reason for A.W.E not having much volunteers may be due to not having enough exposure. I think this because, personally, I did not know of the existence of A.W.E until I took this class. And so, I want to create a large billboard, mural, poster, or even a video, like this one, to help promote A.W.E. The idea for the mural would be an illustration of people holding an illustration of people illustrating an illustration.
Oh, yeah, can you repeat that? Because that made no sense.
Sure. So the idea for the mural would be an illustration of people holding an illustration of people illustrating an illustration. When we think about it, it's this mind-boggling idea, but I'm banking on that to gain the attention of the people. Potentially, I would love to have random people help illustrate part of it, if even a little bit. In this way, this project in itself would become a project very similar to what A.W.E does to help the communities by allowing creativity to flow throughout the neighborhoods through the people. My role as the artist for this plan would be as a collaborator. I say this because at the end of the day, I want to be a person who is working jointly on this project as an associate rather than someone that is taking charge of it. Because regardless of what ideas I have, I want A.W.E to have most, if not all, creative control over this project. Because by having most of the control, if not all of the control, A.W.E will be able to incorporate what their dream, what their goal of their organization is into the piece. Since I can technically be considered a stranger, since I'm not actually part of their organization, I believe it would be better if someone from A.W.E took charge rather than me. Now, I believe the best way to measure the success of this project would be similar to what A.W.E is already doing. A.W.E measures their success through an index of the number of children and how many come back to create artwork with them. In turn, another way to measure the success of this project would be through A.W.E and how many children start attending the truck studio after the project is done. In all honesty, I didn't think I would become so attached to A.W.E. But after just a few months that I've been with them, I can say I've become very much so attached. And just recently was my last day working with a group that I've been working with throughout nearly all of my sites. We always joked about our last days together, and when the last day finally came, it was very heartbreaking. But we all knew that we would cross paths again, as cliche as it sounds. And as sad as our goodbyes were, I am hoping that maybe soon we will cross paths again.